Hey,
Whoa.
right. That's what 5 sounds like.
Five.
5 of them. But hello, welcome to another in our mini-series about the Volca series. As we've said before, the Volcas have now expanded to 5. If you haven't already seen our Volca FM review, which was the last one we did, it proved so popular we thought, well, maybe it's worth doing a few tips and tricks on, what the Volcas can do and the accessories around them. Right, Gaz?
Yeah, exactly. And sort of with having 5, there's a whole bunch of interesting musical possibilities because Volcas, as we know, all sync together very nicely using these kind of sync in and out cables.
Yep.
But we do start ending up having lots of spaghetti,
Power, batteries,
audio cables, and the sync cables. So what we wanted to look at today a little bit was what can we do?
What are the solutions?
Or
or not,
or
as the
not.
case may be. And as with last time, there will be a competition a little bit later for one of the products we're looking at. So do stay tuned for that.
Definitely. Okay, I mean, so Volcas. I mean, I've had the Volcas for a few years now. I've currently got 4. I've got my eye on getting that.
Good luck with that. In the UK, they're still quite rare, I believe.
But I think one of the things that's quite nice about Volcas is that they are very affordable for what they are, and that's a big part of their appeal.
And each one does something specific. I mean, as we saw with the Volca sample, that's just got. It's a great way to play back samples, and the FM is a great way to access FM. And I think the poorest of the my personal is probably the Beats, just because the sounds are not really all that fab.
Yeah, although I agree.
Has its moments.
It does have its moments, but yeah, it's it's.
It was the first, wasn't it? Or one of the first to be announced.
Yeah,
that and the bass. Wasn't
yeah, the keys they came out of the 3. Then the sample came a bit later with the FM along then. However, I mean, the Volcas, they run on batteries and they run on 6 AA batteries.
Yeah.
They also have got a 9-volt power input, and that input is a little bit non-standard.
It is non-standard, and Korg do make their own power supply, but it's 30 quid.
It's something like that, yeah.
Crazy
Expensive.
amount of money.
So one of the things that's always a bit of a puzzle is how are you going to power the Volcas? Are you going to get a power adapter for each one, or are you going to run them on batteries? So those have been our choices up until now.
Indeed.
And this is going to be the first thing that we're going to look at, which I think is absolutely brilliant. I got to be honest, absolutely brilliant. There's a company called myVolts. I think they're based in Ireland, and they've put this amazing product out. I'm really quite impressed by this. What we've got here is we've got a little USB transformer that transforms the USB 5-volt into 9 volts.
Yep.
And to make it even better, you can get this thing to go with it, which is essentially, it's a 5-way splitter. And that's what we've got going on here.
So yeah, you plug this guy into here. So the other end of this will be plugged into a USB power supply.
Yep.
So like an iPhone charger or something like that, or an iPad charger. And then that comes into here. And then on the end of each of these is a tail, 5 tails, which can go into each of the Volcas.
So
super neat.
Yeah, so 1 power supply up to 5 Volcas. And I'll tell you something that makes it even better. Look how we're powering these at the moment. We are powering them with...
So this is just like a battery. So the whole thing is still portable.
Yep.
1 charge.
Yep.
And it's running all of them. And they all seem to be running fine, right?
Absolutely. And in my tests, they've gone all night on one of these, although when I woke up in the morning...
You had been sleeping rather long. But basically, so this does mean that it's a great solution for that possibility. I mean, obviously... these are specific to Volcas, these tails. I mean, but the other thing that's quite cool about this is obviously this is just the transformer. So that will do a 9 volts. So you could get an adapter from any of these and, quite possibly. In fact, there's the myVolts. If we look at the myVolts website, we just double check this. So basically the tails are £9.99, which seems quite reasonable.
Really, incredibly reasonable. And then you can get it with the little transformer box here for £13.99. But at the moment, myVolts have actually got a new product that they're doing on Kickstarter called Ripcord. And what they're doing with Ripcord, it's a kind of more, it's their latest version, and essentially it's a new 9-volt one, and it comes with lots of adapters, and the idea is that you can power all your guitar pedals, your 9-volt guitar pedals,
Exactly, and if you had an adapter to MIDI USB, you could power it up. They reckon you could power it off your phone as well, which is so. The idea is making all of this stuff portable, but this is a great solution for just powering everything off one set of leads. I mean, it's still a bit spaghetti and you want to cable tie them. We've just done this here really to kind of illustrate that we can do 5 at once.
Because the way I've been doing my 4 up until now has been using Eneloop batteries, which are really cool, but you do have to micromanage the charging of the batteries, and do you know what? It actually stops me using them as much as I'd like to use them.
Right.
Because I'm always thinking, to actually pop all the batteries out, load them out, blah, 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 you know.
And they're expensive Eneloop batteries, aren't they?
They are, good, but they are. They're probably about 15 quid
for a set.
For a set of for a set of 8. But then when you work it all out, you know, you're getting up into quite a lot of money.
Quid,
Exactly. So this, as what was it? We say 14, 15 pounds, UK pounds to power all 5.
The only thing I would say, which would have been cooler, is if they'd had right angle connectors on here, so that we didn't have this kind of tail. It'd be nice if they were just right angles and then you could route them round. But you know, that's a small thing.
Yeah, and because this does come to our next point, which is the dreaded mini jack and the lack of really cool solutions for dealing with mini jack mixing. Yeah. Now, what we're doing here is we're using like a cheap, this is like a Belkin headphone splitter to plug everything in. So
there's just a star. So we've got one input coming here, all the other inputs, and then this is going the output to our mixers. But I don't know if you can hear, it's actually quite, it definitely affects the sound. It tails off the top end and sort of reduces the dynamic range. It's not ideal. It might be all right for a bit of a jam, but if you're going to do any serious recording or amplification, you definitely wouldn't want to use this way.
So the solution I've been using, I've got this kind of Rolls mixer, which is a little battery-powered mixer, which has got 4 channels with inputs on there.
That feels like a chunky thing. It's quite nifty that you've got stereo input on Mini.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's a bit noisy, isn't it?
It's a bit noisy, and I'm not that keen on it, to be honest. And also now, if I get this Volca FM, I'm going to need another channel. So I've been scouring high and low looking for a really decent Volca mixer. Do you remember there was that hoax, that Volca kind of Volca mixer hoax that had us all excited for a moment?
But we actually think. I mean, because the thing is in my mind, what I've got the idea of is the Roland MX1, which is a USB mixer and has all sorts of syncable effects. Yeah. If you imagine a Volca sort of style one of these with 5 inputs for 5 or 6 stereo inputs that then had little kind of maybe tempo sync, you could tempo sync it so you could have stutter and whatever else that they've got, you know. That would be really super cool.
Yeah, put a little effect send on there as well and
other
bits and bobs. Please, 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 because at the moment there really isn't something that is like a small format. Well, there might be a few things.
Do you think you could get it with XLR outputs as well? That would be asking too much, wouldn't it? XLRs wouldn't fit.
Yeah, but to be honest, if it was just mini jacks in and mini jack out, it would be fine if they made it to a certain standard. So yes, so this is a bit of a plea on behalf of myself and maybe many other Volca users and pocket operators and OP1 and all that kind of stuff. That, you know, a mini jack mixer. So unfortunately, we haven't got the solution yet. But you know, in the comments, maybe you can point us to one that we don't know about. That'll be handy.
Definitely. So on to the competition.
Yeah.
As we know, this cable kit from myvolts.co.uk, they have donated one for us to send out. So if you want to enter to win the competition, use the comments below. This is really designed for YouTube because it makes it easier to administrate. So you need to be subscribed to the channel and leave a comment below, and then we'll pick a random winner from all the comments below, and you will win one of these Volca power kits, which, as we say, seems to be a pretty good solution to powering up to 5. And as there are only 5, I guess if you've got more than 5, you need to buy more. But you can get multi. Well, in fact, this battery's got
3 outs.
Multiple USB outputs, so you could power quite a lot of them. So
yeah. But I mean, what a neat solution, though. I really got to say that that myVolts solution, I think it's absolutely brilliant. I'm absolutely delighted to have it because it really does make me want to use them more,
which is what they're for.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right, well, that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel anyway, but if you're a subscriber, you may as well comment below, then you may get a chance to win this. I've been Nick Batt from Sonicstate.
I'm Gaz Williams.
See you next time.